fundamentally the technicalities for On1 and On2 are slightly different also, right? But what I'm trying to get at is if your English is in place, right? Picking up history, geography and math should not become a problem because they're all in English. So if you invest your time understanding these principles, all you have to do is then walk into a class and understand its application. Is that making sense? Because your English is so strong, then you just need to understand that if you walk into a shop to buy chocolates, you can't ask for paint. Hopefully this maths has made sense for you. Let's come to the next part of this, which is how do you know whether you're dancing this wrong? Yes, that's the most important thing, because I believe when I teach that you should always teach your students the right way to dance, and you should also teach your students to know when they make a mistake. So I'm going to give you a little analysis. Now this representation is very visual. Now say example, if I were to dance a right turn and I would not dance it on a 5, 6, 7 as a lady and would not dance it on a 1, 2, 3 as a man, I would know it is wrong. Is that making sense? Because my counts are off, I'm not dancing it correctly. So you should be able to figure out fundamentally that your counts are going wrong for On2 as well. Or you should be able to tell yourself, no, this is not possible. You should be in that position to know this. Yes? So how? So I'm going to make a small representation. This has got no fundamental approach. This has just got a visual understanding that you should know ki agar aisa hoga, so it has to be like this. It can't be the other way around. Just a tabulation of that. So I'm going to draw a quick chart for you. I'm keeping On2 on one side and keeping On1 on one side, and then I'm drawing a table for you to understand what's going on. Can you see that? Right? So if I put 1, 2, 3 over here on 1, and I put 5, 6, 7 on 1, and I put 1, 2, 3 on 2, and I put 5, 6, 7 on 2. Can you see? These are your counts for both On1 and On2. Is that making sense? If you are particularly dancing a step on the first 3 counts on 1, those relevant counts on 2, you should be finding it in 5, 6, 7. Reverse. Is that making sense? Which means if you were using your counts on 1, 2, 3, you should be using on 5, 6, 7. I'm not telling you an exact translation. I'm giving you an area to play with. I'm not saying that 1 will become 5 and 2 will become 6. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you were dancing on 2 and you knew, let's take an example. Say you're dancing a right turn as a man. You would have known that the counts are 1, 2, 3. Clear? So now if I had to make that switch mentally and know that somewhere over here we should find the answer, you should know that the answer will not be on the 1, 2, 3 side of On2. You will not have the counts there. You will have it on 5, 6, 7. To be very specific, an On2 right turn for a man happens on a 6 count going forward. And on 1, it happens on a 1 going forward. In both cases, it happens going forward. It's just that the counts change. So the counts are fundamentally reversed. If you notice again, a crossword lead for a man, you end up going forward on 1. But on 2, you'll end up going forward on 6. Is that making sense? Because the tabulation works like that. And the same thing, if the steps were to happen on 5, 6, 7 on 1, example, a hook turn, it happens on 5, 6, 7. If you knew, suppose you're dancing on 2 and you end up doing a hook turn on a 6 count, because you know on 2 the dominant counts are 2s and 6s. You know this, right? The dominant counts are 2s and 6. And if you end up doing a hook turn on 6 as a man, you should know it is wrong. You should have been on the 2. That's where you should have been. Is that making sense? So that's how you come to know if you're dancing this correctly or not. Yeah? Now, let's see how we have application for this. If you have your fundamentals on 2 very clearly, you should be able to dance a cha-cha-cha, because a cha-cha is danced on 2. So if you've understood this, how to shift from On1 to On2, you should be able to dance a cha-cha, because fundamentally that works the same. Yes? Now there is a whole concept to that, and that is a carry forward from this concept itself. So if at any point of time, any of you wishes to try and get answers, you're most welcome to connect with me on Instagram or Facebook and ask me all your questions. We can perhaps get into a conversation and I can tell you how this works, right? Because like I said, I'm a very methodical person. I like to put things in structure so you're very clear about what you're doing. So that when you're dancing, you are not thinking, or you are fully aware if you messed up or you're dancing it correctly. Yes? And that's very important when you're dancing. You can't just dance. You have to know what you're doing. And most of the good dancers on the social floor, it's not that, a lot of people say, how do you dance so well? It just happens to me. I just feel it. There's nothing like that. It doesn't happen. They know exactly what they're doing at what point, and they have spent hours and hours training themselves to do that exact same thing a million times. Now it's become muscle memory and your body has taken over and you are now focusing. It's like a pyramid system, right? There are 100 things that are to be drilled. So if you are at an early stage of dancing, please remember fundamentals and theory is very important. And in my school, it's compulsory, right? So if you don't have your fundamentals in place, you don't move into the next level. That's how it is, period, right? I will ask you theory questions. It's an exam. I will ask you right turn happens on which count. You should have an answer. And if you don't have an answer, which means you're not figuring it out or you haven't figured it out, and if you cannot think faster than the music, you'll never be able to create combinations, right? In my classes, I don't teach combinations. Like a lot of intermediate dancers just love combinations. What I do is I get your fundamentals so strong and then I tell you, example, let's take a quick example. You know that the right turn happens on the front part of the basic. You know that the hook turn happens on the back part of the basic. Had I given this information to you 3 classes from now, you would have just told me, you know what, Vineet, instead of dancing a back basic at the end of a right turn, can I not put a hook turn there? I'll be like, yeah, that's fine. It's possible. Of course you can do that. It's allowed, right? This helps you create your dancing. You don't become this person who goes to class and just by hearts what your teacher is teaching you. And that's not what I like, you know. The only way, I've known so many good dancers, right, in the country, and all of them are fundamentally very strong. When they dance, they know how to create combinations. And you will see them invent, you know, be innovative, create new things, put 2 and 2 together. It's very simple. Once your mathematics are in place, then, you know, all of the combinations become easy. So if you have your fundamentals principally correct, you know what counts, what can happen. You will know what are your possibilities after that, right? If you were finishing a right turn and you want to do a side basic, you should have known that it's the right side of the basic and not the left side of the basic, because you have a 5, 6, 7. You should have known this, which means you should not have gone back and tried to figure it out. Okay, what is 5, 6, 7 and what is 1, 2, 3? Yes, these fundamentals have to be very clear, and that's what helps you. So tomorrow, if you tell me, you know what, Vineet, after I dance a 5, 6, 7 to the right side, what can I do? Can I do a crossbody lead as a lady? I said yes. But how? Will you need to dance a back basic? No, because you've already taken the first 3 counts. You should have been directly traveling forward. Is that making sense? You should have known this. You should have said, no, Vineet, it's not possible to take a back basic. I've already finished my first 3 counts. Is that making sense? That's how strong I want you to be. So when you get an application of this, we can convert the reverse also. How to shift from on 2 to on 1. Same principle done ulta. So if I look at the table back again, this is where we were, right? We had shifted all the counts back. So if I take that count back up again, we're here, and then I introduce the 4s and the 8s back in place, boom, we've danced on 1 again. So that's where my conversation finishes. If you want to dance on 1, you dance on 1. You want to dance on 2, you dance on 2. But I'd like for you to stick to a timing when you dance an entire song. So you start on 1, in the middle of it, don't just say, hey, I've just got bored, I want to dance on 2, let's dance on 2. You know what I'm saying? So switching through the dance, not the best advice, but you can make an informed choice what you want to dance. Now, just a quick heads up before I give you the wrap up. Again, quick reminder, my name is Vineet Bangera and you can find me on social media, on Instagram and Facebook. Please connect with me. And as a school, we are now planning to come up with online classes. We are shifting on modules. If you have seen these presentations and if you've understood, this is how we're going about our classes. It's a very structured format. So if you are interested in taking lessons with us and go into the whole online format of things, the clarity of the video, the audio, you can see it in front of you. It's not going, these are shot by professional cameras. Everything happens on a very high resolution. So these are going to be pre-recorded classes. We are not doing live classes because, you know, there are constraints, sound quality, audio quality, clarity, you catching up, you having to invest your time in that particular hour. We're doing pre-recorded classes, which means you can learn at your pace, at your convenience, and you can, everything is very systematically. The classes are progressive. They start from the first class. So you could be any kind of dancer, whether you're a beginner or you're like a professional dancer or you've had experience in this style. All kinds of classes are available, and we've already shot like a huge amount of content and will be coming up online. So stay connected with us, and there will be some sample classes, trial classes, and this class also gives you a quick idea of how we communicate with things. So if you are interested, please get in touch with us. And yeah, so we'll take your wrap on this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the class and hope this was informative enough. See you.